check out some of the iconic American muscle cars that we have here. This one's our 1968 Fastback Mustang, really kind of a tribute to the old Bullitt car with Steve McQueen back from 1968. Again, this is the original color on this car, which was Highland Green. We've done a few modifications to it, like putting the 5.0 Coyote motor in it with a 6-speed Tremec. Those are just a few, so hang tight and we'll go over the rest of the car with you. One really cool item that we kept with the car was the original 1968 license plate from California. No rust on the car, beautiful mint condition, other than being 50 years old. So we blew the car apart and put it back to its original state, Highland Green. So as the lights come on, you got your running lights here, and then otherwise put high beams on. And then if you want to come around and take a look at the turn signals, you obviously got them there on the side fender skirts, but then also as you're driving, we have the turn signals right outside the hood there. So we got our left and our right. Something unique just to this GT hood on the car. One of the high performance things we did to this car was put on some high performance Nitto tires. Now they're kind of unique in this sense because what we did is we scrubbed off the Nitto logo and re-billboarded with a Goodyear polyglass just like in 1968. So you get the nice tread and performance that you get on a new modern day tire, but you also have the cool, iconic looking logo from 1968. One thing I love about the 1968 are the lines on this car. It's really beautiful the way they carry these lines even on the top to where they came up and over the fender and all the way back to give it just a real beautiful look. And if you go to the back here, you'll see where just the small subtle details they did, just like the little bit of line they put right here all the way on top of the hood. So you can follow that line just like they did, and they also etched into the glass and then carried onto the roof line to give it just one more small detail to make this car just separate from any other pony car on the road. So as I'm talking about the lines on this car, one thing that this car didn't have, that a lot of pony cars did back then, was mirrors on both sides. I kept it to original, and we kept the left side, or actually the passenger side mirror off the car. So what it does is keep that clean line on the car. So as you look down, you get that beautiful 1968 vintage look. And this thing looks like it's going fast, just standing still. Unlike in 1968, we went with a 1969 flip-top gas cap. So it just pops open, close it. Gives it just a little bit cooler look than what the 1968 was that twisted off. So keeping to the original look and feel of the car, the switches they have in here that we came from Vintage Air looks identical to like the ones they had back in 1968. Even the gauges that we have from Dakota Digital all look like the 1968 gauges back from the day. We even went as close to taking the old 1968 key fob and putting it on there too. So let's go ahead and fire up these gauges and see what they look like. Those bad boys come to life. And let's give it a tap. So I want to show you some of the unique options that came with the car. Some things like the wood grain on the back side of the doors. This side mirror had an adjustable mirror, the old classic push button seat belt. And then if you look up top here, this is something that was original to this car also. It's the old map lights that came on here like this. This was very rare on a lot of the Mustangs. You didn't see that quite often. So come around to the back of the trunk here. This is something that was unique also when you had the fold down rear seat. So we pop over the trunk. We did a little modification on this so you don't see as much of the metal as you did back in 1968. We did put our battery in the back, which is a pretty nice thing to do. Another unique thing we did is we put a trickle charger on the car. So if you look up underneath here, you basically have a spot to where you can plug in overnight and keep that battery charged. Super nice. Again, one thing that I was saying that was unique about the fold down rear seat is they have a little door right here that opens up into the back. So you can actually open it up and push material and stuff back through when the seat's folded down. One of the really cool things about this car that a lot of the Mustangs didn't have is the fold down rear seat. So if we go inside, I can show you actually how it worked. You had it flat like this so you could put your baggage, whatever you needed on the top here, but then all you need to do is just basically fold this up one more time, locks back, and you got a place for two people to sit back here. And as we start the car up, you'll see what Dakota Digital did. As you can see, these are just like original gauges back from the day, but because it's hooked up to the Coyote, it's all digital in the sense everything talks to the engine, talks to the gauges, and tells me what's going on. Another unique thing we did was put one of the aftermarket radios in here and I think you can hear what's playing right now. If you know the movie Bullitt, this was the song right here. This is the music. I think Steve McQueen would be proud. I think he'd definitely dig driving this car. So now I'm sure whatever he's waiting for, let's see what's underneath this hood. So what we did was we put the Coyote 5.0, get this thing dyno tuned. This thing puts about 625 horse at the crank and about 525 to the wheels. So as you can see, this engine got stuffed in here and we had to basically shave down the shock towers. So we ended up putting the Ride-Tech front end clip on here, which makes a huge difference as far as steerability and drivability on the car. Pretty awesome. Another great thing we did to add the performance and stoppability of the car is we put on the Willwood disc brakes all the way around the car. So you have disc front and rear, unlike the old days when you had the old drums in the back, and maybe, if you were lucky, you had disc brakes up front. So this is just one of the amazing American muscle cars we have here at H5 Helicopters. Be sure to check out our social media and some other YouTube videos that we're going to be putting out on some of the other classic muscle cars that we have in our collection.